Welcome to a new devlog. Today I have some cool new tricks to show you. As some might know, we are currently working on level design, because starting July 1st, we want to begin with our first playtests. If you would like to help out, you can join our Discord with the link in the description. While working on all these levels, I quickly came to the realization that manually placing tiles, even with the help of templates, is a slow and tedious process. Like most developers, when we find ourselves doing a slow and tedious task, we'll make it our life's mission to automate said task. Sometimes that means we fall down a rabbit hole and lose all our productivity for the remainder of the week, but we'll always agree that it was worth it in the end. Okay, so I learned a much easier way to do this. First, I quickly created this simple tile palette with just 9 tiles and I slice it up so we have all the different squares there. Now we want to go to create 2D tiles and find rule tile over here. When you click on this asset, you will see the options over here on the right. The first thing we want to do is add a default image, so we have something to look at when there are no specific rules. But the interesting thing is over here in the tiling rules section. We can click the plus icon to create a new rule. This over here specifies the rules for a specific tile. In our case, we're going to try to define the rules for this arrowed tile. This is the top left corner, which means that there is always a square over here, not there, and not there either. Okay, so now we can drag our rule tile into the tile palette, get the brush, and start painting. And as you will see, it will create the corner piece anytime the rules are satisfied. And you can imagine that this is much easier than what I was trying to do before. I filled in the rest of the rules to give you an idea of how this would look, and as you can see, I can now just draw rectangles and squares, and they'll be filled in according to the rules automatically. This is very convenient. So I got to work and tried to implement this for our 7x7 tile palette. Unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. The first problem is that some of our tiles depend on specific neighboring tiles, which is not supported within the features of the rule tiles. The second problem is this giant patch of dirt that fits together in a million different ways. Eventually I got around the first problem by writing a custom script instead of using the built-in rule tiles, but I just can't wrap my head around how to do the dirt. So before the rabbit hole became too deep, Gil saved me by offering to fill in the dirt patches later, when all the levels are finished. Next, I want to show off this cool animation. We've been pondering how we want to begin the story. And right now we have this vision of Skunk and his grandpa sitting inside a cramped living room, and then Skunk says something like, "Life stinks." And then the grandpa's like, "Life only stinks if you don't have friends." And then he kicks him out, and I don't know, he can only return when he has made friends with the whole forest or something like that. It still needs some work, but the story is not going to be that deep. Nor do I think that it would be necessary for what we're trying to create here. The unique selling point that we want to emphasize are the cute art direction and the little sweet interactions with the other critters, as well as a unique rhythm-based jump mechanic. Speaking of which, I decided that the game was totally lacking some retractable spikes, by which I mean spikes that appear and disappear by the beat of the music. This was very simple to implement, but it complements the playstyle really well. This little change immediately makes the world feel more dynamic and responsive. And while timing these jumps, it's almost like you're playing Crypt of the Necrodancer, which makes me think that this is a good feature. I hope that you've enjoyed this devlog, and if you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Remember to join our Discord if you would like to help out with the playtest, or just want to hang out and talk about games. That's all for today, and I hope to catch you next time.